Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? It's your guy DeMarcus with the Beta Project. Remember, you can always follow us on YouTube at Humble and Focused. Today is May 15, 2019, and today's video is about perspective and definition. If you don't notice, I actually wrote perspective and definition a little bit differently, and I made the eyes a little bit bigger. So we'll talk about that here in a second. So today's quote is, if you don't like something, change it. You can't change it, and you have to change the way you think about it. And that's pretty much, that's by Mary Engelberg, by the way. So let's go ahead and get started in this video, because this video is interesting. Hopefully I don't stay on it too long, but knowing me, I might get a little bit into what I'm feeling and and just kind of go off with it. But let's go ahead and get started about perspective and definition. Here we go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing today? I'm DeMarcus here once again. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So yesterday something happened to me. I was actually playing a volleyball game, and I was playing with a friend of mine. His name is Brandon, and he's a great guy, like amazing guy. And so yesterday he just happened to be subbing for our team. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important to the story. And so Brandon was playing for my team, and I was saying things to some of the other players on my team, just regular volleyball terms, you know, hey, you know, step up here, hey, get up in there, you know, do things like that. And he was laughing at me. I was like, what are you laughing at? And he was like, some of the way you're saying things, it sounds so dirty. And I started thinking about it. I was like, I don't see what you're saying. I don't understand. And so he started to explain, you know, what I was saying. I was like, okay. I go, so you realize that those aren't dirty things that I'm saying. Those are just terms and different, you know, actions or different directions in a particular situation. He goes, they sound dirty to me. And he's not that kind of person, but they just, you know, they sounded dirty to him. And so we got into this debate about whether or not what we say is what I said was inappropriate or not. And what we came up with is that it's actually the perspective of the person that comes up with the definition of what something is. Okay, so what actually happens anytime we have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, you don't realize that. You remember the video I did about how you've been programmed from the jump, where it starts off with your family, actually your mom and dad firstly, mom and dad and your family, then your friends of your family, then your friends in the community you live in, school, society, all that stuff piles in, and then the world tells you what you need to think. So you got all these pieces and influences that have been given to you for the longest time. And so because of that, you define and decide what certain things mean to you. And I didn't want to use this word, so I'm not going to say it, but the N-word, we all know what it is, has different meanings to different groups, depending on how it's used and who it's used to, who it's used by. We all have a different definition and a perspective because of how that word affects us. So we have to be very aware, ladies and gentlemen, it's not what we say, it's how it's taken. Okay, so here we go. You ready? We're gonna do this. So, this is the word. Did you know that? This is a word. This is not only a word, this is just a word on a piece of paper. It's a word on a piece of paper, nothing more. But some people on this video are feeling a certain type of way about this one word. Why? It's based on what you have had in your past. It's based on what kind of things you've been through, the things you've been told, the things that you felt about yourself. Now, this word right here, I'm not saying anybody's crazy. It doesn't even matter if I am saying anybody's crazy, because at the end of the day, it does not matter what somebody says to you, but how it's taken, right? So here, let me take it to the next level. See, this word crazy may not do anything for somebody. It may not set you off, but these may. You are crazy, you are fat, you are dumb, you are ugly, you are worthless. See, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing about this. Like these are words on a piece of paper, right? And some of these people are gonna look at these words and say, they don't bother me. But the thing is, there are some certain things and certain words in your world and in your circle that if you're called them, that you're not gonna feel too comfortable about. Me, I don't like being called fat, because I in my mind, I feel like I'm fat. Now, somebody else might feel a different way about it, a different perspective about it. Now, the reason I wrote perspective with the capital I's is because the I am the most important piece of this. Things go on in the news all the time, and some people are affected by it and some aren't. Why? Because of the way they were brought up or the things that affect them. Everybody's affected differently. So it doesn't necessarily, it matters more on how you take things. The whole point of me showing you this is not to call you names. The whole point of me showing you this is to realize that as soon as you take out the power that the word has over you, then the words are just that. They are words. Nothing more, nothing less. But it's up to us to define how these words are going to affect us. We decide whether we feel like we are crazy. People can call us crazy all day long. People can say oh, I should have put weird on here. That's one of mine, is that when people used to call me weird, it used to affect me. But I realized, wait a second, weird is another way to say different. I am weird. Who cares? I'd rather be weird than somebody saying, dude, you're normal. But I had to choose at some point in time whether or not to let my words, or the words that were coming towards me, affect me. And that's what I need you to do. I need you to examine, ladies and gentlemen, all the words in your life that are bugging you. If somebody calls you dumb, if somebody calls you stupid, if somebody calls you fat, somebody calls you ugly, if somebody calls you weird, if somebody calls you worthless, all these things have some kind of in your brain. They either have a perspective piece here where you're like, wait a second, that was just like whenever my mom called me that one time because I got a D on my paper, and I will never let somebody call me that word. Or oh, I hate that word. That's the way my ex-boyfriend used to talk to me, or my ex-husband or ex-wife or my ex-girlfriend used to call me dumb or stupid or lazy or fat. And we put the value on the words, and they're nothing but words. But we, based on our experiences, give the word its meaning. Now, it does have a definition, yes, but we give the word its meaning for us. We matter. So if somebody calls us ugly, worthless, fat, stupid, dumb, crazy, wild, whatever, some people are like, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Some people are like, I can't believe you said that to me, and they're angry. Some people like, okay. For example, somebody called me stupid, I'd be like, okay. That's not gonna hurt my feelings. Why? Because I don't have any attachment to that word any longer. Used to think a lot of things about myself. But what I want you to think about, ladies and gentlemen, is all the words, all the things, and all that bad stuff that you feel about yourself, where does it come from? Here. So if we can control our thoughts and our minds, then we can control our reaction or our response to how something affects us. There's a lot of things out there, ladies and gentlemen, that people can call you. And there's a lot of things in here that you can attach to. But if it doesn't hurt in here, if it doesn't have an attachment in here, well then guess what? It doesn't affect you. So what I want you to do is I want you to disassociate from these words or any other words that are in your mind and in your heart, in your soul, that you don't feel like that you have a problem with. I want you to detach from those, and I want you to take the power away from them. Just as I take the power away from my life, there's no more power there. Someone can say, oh, I'm saying, okay, I don't really care. But I have to give the light the power. I have to give the words the power. Otherwise, it's just another word on a piece of paper. Don't let somebody take your self-worth down or let you. See, here's the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, that people don't really understand, is that when somebody calls us something like this, what happens is they're throwing things at us. And let's say they're throwing a knife at us. Pretend it's a knife. They're throwing a knife at us, right? They're throwing a knife at us. So you could, if I don't believe that I'm dumb, it just kind of whizzes right by me, right? The person throwing it never has good aim. They never have good aim, right? They know what to say to you, but they never have good aim. But what actually happens is they call me weird, right? And so what happens is they throw it, and I grab it out of the air, and then I stab myself with it. Because they can't make me take that on as something I feel or a perspective that I feel is true. I have to grab it, accept it, and then plunge it into me to give myself the wound. And we assume that they did it, but in all reality, it wasn't them. They may have said the word, but we gave it the power to take us down. We took the knife out of the air. Oh, okay, you threw that at me. Okay, wait a second. I am dumb. I am dumb, so I had to get in there and give the word its power. So I'm trying to give you your power back, ladies and gentlemen. When people start throwing things at you, you can very easily look. People call you words, people call you everything, people can say things about you, but it isn't until you decide that it's true that it hurts and affects you. It's as simple as that. So don't let these words, none of these words, come at you and give you anything other than an okay. If that's how you feel, I'm sorry for that. And move forward, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing more that needs to be done with that. So here's what I'm gonna show you this last video, which is this last picture here, which I really liked. I found it and I really liked it. So here we go. Our friend the dandelion. Some see a weed, some see a wish. And the reason that I put this up here is because that dandelion, you remember when you were a kid, you used to blow that thing, and it used to blow everywhere, and it would land, and you were like, oh man, make a wish, you just blow the mess out of it. But as you get older, and all of a sudden you get a yard, and you see those in your yard, now it's a weed. You're no longer picking it up and blowing it to make wishes. Now you see a weed. So ladies and gentlemen, everything that you have, every perspective that you have, every situation that you're in, you can either see a weed or a wish. Every perspective you are, you can see something positive or negative. Every perspective that you get into, every situation you get into, every word you're called, you can either give it power or not give it power. You can step up and say, oh, that is me. I don't like that anymore. Or you can take it offensively. You get the choice, ladies and gentlemen. It's all in you. It is your choice to make that decision to give it the power it does, or the power it has. And that's why I capitalize the I's in perspective and definition, because it is I who gives it the meaning. You take the I out of it, then you just have a bunch of letters. It doesn't spell the word perspective. It doesn't spell the word definition. It's just a bunch of jumbled stuff. It has no meaning. But as soon as I give it meaning, I give it power, that's when it starts to affect you. So ladies and gentlemen, you get to choose. You can let things affect you, or you could just let it go. You can let things hurt you, or you can say, that's not me. No matter if you feel this way or not, you have to examine, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do something for me. I want you to take some time and examine why you feel this way. I want you to take stock in why these words affect you the way they do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the cool thing is if you can figure out why they affect you, then you'll find the source of the power. Was it a family member? Was it a friend? Was it a teacher? Was it somebody close to you? Was it just somebody who walked by and just happened to catch you when you thought you were looking good and called you ugly, and then all of a sudden it dismissed you? Why did it affect you? Why did it hit you? What about that situation made you feel that way about yourself almost on a permanent basis? You could be 120 pounds overweight, and if you don't feel fat, then you don't feel fat. And it doesn't matter how many people call you fat. So you gave it power. You will always give anything in your life power. You give it the power, the essence to affect you. You take the knife, you stab yourself, right? But I want you to examine why you do it. What in your life, like I said, once again, I'll bring it back. I have some paradigms in my life where I do not feel like I am lovable in certain situations for certain reasons. In my past, things have made me feel that way. I've decided I no longer want to feel that way. Does it pop up? Yes. Does it affect me sometimes? Yes. But I do my best to make sure that it doesn't have power. That I do feel like I can be loved. That I do feel like I'm worthy. That's another one. That I do feel like I have meaning, I have purpose, and I have a life that's, that somebody wants me around, or wants me, in another way. Who knows? But it is up to me to define my perspective. It is up to me to give myself the definition. It's up to me to allow that label to stick, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's the last thing I'll say. If somebody throws it at you and they try to put it on you, and if it doesn't stick, then it's gone as soon as it hits. As soon as it hits you, it's gone just as fast. So that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you being here today. Thank you very much for being here. I believe and I love it, each and every single one of you. And like I said, I always say, if you don't believe in the power of yourself, just use my belief in you for right now, and until you get yours, and just like I did with somebody else. So thank you very much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let those words hit you. They're other people's thoughts, and you give it power. And you can let it hurt you or not. It's up to you. And that's all I have. So you have a blessed day. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And we'll talk tomorrow. Have a blessed day.